Roadhouse
Hello,
has been drenched in controversy. Because, first of all, you're making, if you want to go back a ways, they were originally going to do a Roadhouse remake with Ronda Rousey. Remember, for a couple of years, that was on the books. And then thankfully that fell away. Don't get me wrong, I really like Ronda Rousey, but she has proved that she cannot act. So, I mean, that's fine. Then it got going again with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like I think we all agree, one of the best that's out there. Jake Gyllenhaal's a terrific performer. Then they went out and got Doug Liman to direct, which I really enjoy a number of Doug Liman's films, very, very much. But then Doug Liman announced a little while ago that he's boycotting his own movie. Because, and we talked about this on the show, he insisted that Amazon kind of let him on, believing that there was a good possibility or decent possibility that this movie could go theatrical. And I completely agree with Doug Liman that this movie should be going theatrical. But then Deadline put out a report that said, listen, when Amazon took over MGM Studios, they went to Doug Liman and the producers and the filmmaker and Jake Gyllenhaal and said, look, we got two ways we can go here. We can give you a $60 million budget to make this Roadhouse movie because we need to keep some money back for theatrical marketing, stuff like that. Or we can go straight to streaming and we'll give you an $80 million budget, which, by the way, would increase the paychecks.
85.
I heard 80, but 85, which would not only give them more money to make the movie, but also give the individual players a little bit more cheddar, right? And according to the Deadline article, they took the money.
They took the money.
According to the Deadline article, they took the money. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal, we talked about this yesterday, just came out and said, hey, listen, I love my director, Doug Liman. He's awesome. Yeah, but Amazon was always very clear that this was going to go straight to streaming, which is, I mean, so there's all that. Now there's another controversy that's spewing up here. Because according to a report that's come out now, the original screenwriter of the Patrick Swayze version of Roadhouse is claiming that the copyright of that screenplay is about to revert back to him. And he says that Amazon cheated to get the movie finished by using AI voices of the main actors while the actor strike was going on. And he's seeking in court, they filed a lawsuit seeking monetary damages, also seeking to bar the release of the film. This comes to us from the folks over at Engadget to write the following. I'm going to read this a little bit at length because there's some really good information in here that I think give us proper context, all right? Amazon is being sued by the writer of the original 1989 Patrick Swayze version of the film Roadhouse over alleged copyright infringement in the movie's remake, the Los Angeles Times has reported. Screenwriter R. Lance Hill accuses Amazon and MGM Studios of using AI to clone actors' voices in the new production in order to finish it before the copyright expired. Hill said he filed a petition with the U.S. Copyright Office on November of 2021 to reclaim the rights to his original screenplay, which forms the basis of the new film. At that point, the rights were owned by Amazon Studios as a part of its acquisition of MGM, but were set to expire in November of 2023. Hill alleges that once that happened, the rights would revert back to him. Now, this is where it gets really complicated. Because as we've talked about a couple of times over the last few years, there is a thing in place where the original copyright holders who sell their copyright can get that copyright back after how many years?
35.
I was going to say between 30 and 40, so 35 years, right? So on its surface, here's what this lawsuit's about. This guy is saying that, in November of 2023, the rights went back to me. And Amazon couldn't finish the film because the actor strike was going on, and that he accuses that they used AI voices of the actors to finish up the film while the actor strike was going on, which is a violation of the agreement between the actors union and the studios when they finally ended the strike. There are two big problems with the writer's argument. Problem number one, if what he says is true, and that's dubious, but if what he says is true, then the studio utilizing AI to mimic the voices of actors can't violate the agreement that they signed because the agreement hadn't been signed yet. The actors union and the studios had not signed their agreement yet to end the strike. And therefore, anything they did that violated the agreement before the agreement was signed is not enforceable. Like I can sign a contract with Rob promising him that I won't wear plaid anymore. But if I sign that contract tomorrow, he can't sue me for wearing it today. Right? It's not enforceable. The second big problem, though, with the writers' stuff is brought up in another paragraph in the Engadget article that says this: the claim is complicated by the fact that Hill signed a work-made-for-hire deal with the original producer, United Artists, that effectively means that the studio hiring the writer would be both the owner of the copyright holder and the holder of the work. Hill, however, dismissed that as boilerplate typically used in contracts. So listen, just because you wrote something 35 years ago, it doesn't mean it belongs to you. If you were hired to write that script, then you never hold the copyright in the first place. Now, if you write a spec script and you own the copyright and you shop it to a studio and they buy it from you, you may have your rights reverted back to you in 35 years.
That's correct.
But according to this, Rob, that was not the case. He was specifically hired to write the script, which means the studio holds the copyright in the first place. So, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. This is a really interesting situation. One I'm sure the Roadhouse people don't want floating around. But he's talking about breaking a rule that didn't exist when they did it, even if they did it. And by the way, Amazon is denying all of this. And even if all of that is true, he may not actually be the copyright holder. Anyway, Rob, I know you've been fascinated by this type of stuff over the last couple of years. What do you make of this Roadhouse situation?
Well, the president of 20th Century Studios, Steve Asbell, was telling me that there is a lawyer in Hollywood who specializes in this because a lot of our favorite franchises, Die Hard, Predator, like Predator was a spec script written by Shane Black. The script, and we've had the Friday the 13th case, the original writer of the original Friday the 13th case. The rights were interesting because in the original Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees is not the killer. And the Jason Voorhees that we know with the hockey mask doesn't show up till part 3.
That whole case.
Yeah, but
really
the underlying
complex.
rights is very interesting. So what happens is the rights revert back to the original writer, like you astutely pointed out, if it's not work for hire. So this guy, this writer, is a total cash grab on the writer's behalf because the deal would have been made that this movie already went into production. What he's arguing, it doesn't matter whether they used AI. It's still in post. It's a movie. They had to get into production and have the movie made before the rights reverted back if it was an original screenplay. So it was already done in good faith. He already had a payment. Movies take time to go through post. They don't have to necessarily finish a movie. If the deal is made and executed and the movie's made, the movie's made. And when it comes to post-production, it's not just the voices of actors. They have to do things like subtitle the movie for all the different regions it's going to be released in. Amazon subtitles the movie for how, according to his logic, it's not just the actors. The movie's not done yet. The movie's not done until it's scored. He's just saying, like, making it about the actors. What is that? Where's that logic?
I think if I was going to play devil's advocate here, because I completely agree with you. I'm 100% on your side. I'm just saying, from the devil's advocate point of view, what his point might be is that it doesn't matter when you start making the movie. if November 2023 comes and goes when I got the rights back and that's in dispute, then you can't continue to make something like recording lines that came from my original script after the copyright. Again, I don't think that holds water.
It would say that because the movie would have to be in production, because everyone knows, because a movie can be in production they have to have executed and made the movie before the rights revert back, because it would be dated when the deal was made and probably when it went into production. But here's what he's also trying to do. He's trying to stir up shit. In terms of saying, the actor's trying to start, he wants to get SAG involved. It's a pressure tactic. He's trying to get, the SAG's going to come in, and even if they use AI to assist during a strike to finish, are you going to say then that everything that had to do with post-production? And like you said, there was no deal with SAG at this point. And who's to say they've had other people come in to dub people's lines. They've used sound-alike actors.
Yep.
I mean, they would be actors. There's all ways to handle things in post. And this is a pressure tactic, a guy who's probably never going to get another paycheck for anything he's ever written anymore in his life. I think it's gross.
Here's the thing. I don't know this individual. I don't know Mr. Hill. For all I know, salt of the earth guy, wonderful human being. I'm not saying any of that, but what this strikes me as, and I'm just saying this as a fan, okay? I'm just saying this as a fan. What this strikes me as is somebody who knows that this has no merit, but is betting that Amazon right now would rather cut a $1.5 million check to make you go away right now than having to bother with it. And I don't know if that gambit is going to work or not.
No, I think that's exactly what's going on. And you know what? The guy got paid. He made his movie. He got the deal that he signed just because they're making another. I hate this. There's too much of this goes on in the industry, and it's not good for anyone.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.